there's no question that opioids have been overused and abused, and there's no question that illicit use of these things has had a devastating impact on our society. But it would be difficult to say that the field of medicine would be better off having never had an opioid we just talked about surgery, for example. Very challenging to deliver medical care in a hospital without opioids. So the question becomes, what is the most responsible case for oral opioids, which by definition are meant to be used outside of a hospital, not inside a hospital? And as a pain specialist, I would imagine few people are better equipped to navigate the nuance of that question.
Yeah, it is a very nuanced question. I think a little preamble first. I don't take money from either the opioid companies. I don't take money from the litigation that's ongoing, because there are tens and tens of billions of dollars at play right now.
Yep.
I don't take money. And I am not pro-opioid. I am not anti-opioid. I am pro-patient. I view them as a tool. I view them as a tool much like the other medications, interventions, mind-body, physical, rehabilitative, complementary tools that we use. They have a particular place. I have a personal, deep appreciation for the destruction that these agents can cause. I come from a family very deep in addiction, very deep. I've lost close family members to opioid overdose. I've lost close family members to alcoholism. I am personally petrified of these drugs. And I have gone through surgeries that the surgeon said, you can't get through this without an opioid. And I'm like, I'll be fine. Because my approach is avoidance. With that said, I've learned a long time ago not to project my personal experiences onto my patients. That had to come through age, wisdom, whatever. It is true. Prescription opioids were overprescribed. They were overmarketed. They were, there were bad actors doing bad things. It came at a time, but it's not that simple a story. I sometimes get frustrated because I feel like you can make really simple sound bites out of this complex societal issue when it was a perfect storm that hit. Yes, you had a letter to the editor of New England Journal saying that nobody got addicted to like 38 patients or some nonsense, and Purdue and others ran with this. I get that, and they did bad things. You also have to put things in the context of what was going on in society. There was growing awareness of pain, as there should be. There was growing pressures to do something about it. People have brought up the pain as a fifth vital sign as an example. And people have different opinions about that. Did it have bad consequences? Yes. Did it have good consequences? Hell yes. Run the counterfactual. Do you want to go back to a time when we're not asking patients after surgery their pain? Do you want your mother, your daughter back in that time? And I think the answer is clearly no. But also there was other pressures. And Peter, you witnessed those firsthand. What was going on back in the 90s and the 2000s? And after surgery, there was this massive push to get people out of the hospital and put them in their home. We were replacing care in a hospital with care in the home. In the hospital, we had time to see their trajectory. We could titrate their opioids or whatever, get them tuned up, dialed in, and then send them home. Now, surgery, overnight, you're home, let's give you a bucket of whatever. And the reason for that was surgeons and docs don't like getting called at 3 a.m. for pain control. So pressure to put people out in the home environment. On top of it, docs get lousy training for pain. Like what is the average? 7 hours, I think, in medical school. Vets, by the way, 40 hours of pain. So great if you've got a dog. Not so great for a patient. So you've got this pressure. And by the way, not only on top of that, but now you've got the introduction of patient satisfaction scores. I have to imagine in your private practice, you don't have to measure Press Ganey and patient satisfaction scores. But in hospitals, everybody does. Or at least they did. I think they're coming to their senses. And so one way of addressing the satisfaction, give more opioids. So there's more. There's many, many, many pressures that came to bear that helped create this problem, of which there were bad actors out there.
By the way, the perfect analogy to this is the mortgage crisis in 2006 to 2008, where if you took a zeroth order view, it would be really easy to blame one of the entities.
Yeah.
But it is actually a perfect storm, right?
I have a slide, on the opioid crisis. I call it the perfect storm.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. And in the end, and here I'm going to be a little bit reductive when it comes to the doc's roles in this. I'm going to borrow from my friend, Professor Keith Humphreys. There are 3 kinds of physicians out there. There are the majority of the physicians doing the right thing for the right reasons. There are the next group, which is a much smaller group, physicians doing the wrong thing for the right reasons. And at the very top of that pyramid, a little group, you got physicians doing the wrong thing for the wrong reasons. Bad. Those people at the top, take away their license, put them in jail. But you had a group of people here in the middle that were doing the wrong thing for the right reasons, that they either didn't have the right education, they thought they were helping people. Did they contribute to the problem? Yes. Have they gotten educated? Have we? Yes. I didn't answer your question, though. And let me now circle back. And I hope you'll forgive that little bit of soliloquy on my perspective of that 20 years. I don't use opioids as a first-line agent ever, almost never. End of life, cancer. But usually by then they've tried other things before they're getting to us.